Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. Everything about your Disney news. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, man. I'm just glad to be back. It's been 2 weeks of silence. Want to apologize to everyone first before we go anywhere. I feel too. I've been having problems with my PC. My PC crashed. I couldn't record. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't upload. But yeah, we're back at it. It's Buile. I'm so excited. The PSL is back. Dstv Premiership is back. Competition, tournaments, MTN8 this past weekend is back. Local football is back, Bafit. We're going to be having a lot of games in between during the week, over the weekend. Content, nje. Galo, scatter our transfers. Actually, I think next month, end of next month, transfer window. So yes, welcome back and to all the new members and the people who have the new subscribers. Thank you so much once again for supporting this channel. Let me just give you a shout out. I'm so glad to be back. This feels good actually to be shooting again. So yeah, where to start, man? There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. Top three were in action, particularly Mamelodi Sundowns. Chiefs were playing last week and over the weekend as well. They were in action. All have qualified for the semi-finals and the draw. That's all going to be. We're going to be talking about everything. But I want to take us back since we haven't really covered everything. But I don't want to be too. I know everything has happened. I mean, we're going to game week 3 for the following or tomorrow. But I just want to start from game one, two, in particular. And because the last time we've left, it's from preseason where all the teams are preparing. And yeah, man, just to chop it up and see how far we get. But before we go anywhere, please don't forget to support the channel as you were. Like it, share it with your friends, your colleagues, whoever is interested in Diski. And yeah, let them know that, this is the podcast. We talk about football. And don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like and leave your comments on the section below. So yeah, game week 1, Sundowns opened it up. I think it was previous Friday, where they played a slender win, but 100% so far. 2 out of 2 so far for them. So I want to start with them in particular because they kicked off everything off. That Friday, Pirates were in action, and Saturday, and Chiefs were in action that Sunday. So for me, we've all been waiting in anticipation in terms of the lineups, how they're going to be setting up, and also the players, the new players that they've signed from all three teams and combination play and how they're going to be tactically or technically going to be faring out. So it was an interesting game, but I have to start with the match between Mamelodi Sundowns and Sekhukhune. Sekhukhune, very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. But I think for me, we have to give it to Sekhukhune or to Sundowns where they are able to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes because what they've now gathered is that all the 16 teams have a target. Sundowns has a target on their back. 16 teams have deployed a low block for some of them. Some of them want to go for pound for pound, meaning they want to start off maybe first 20 minutes with that high pressure. But obviously, the quality as well from Sunderland, it's just too superior to for other teams. So it's not advisable that you'll play like that for 90 minutes. And sometimes are very patient. They have quality. They play in pockets. They know when to strike. They know and also know how to finish. They know how to start well and they know to finish well. But this season, I'll put my head on the chopping block. I don't think I'm yet to find a win. We haven't seen who has the potential because I have my top 5 that I'm going to be giving you guys. But it's not going to be easy for Sunderland this season. I kid you not, it's not. Yes, some teams are not as ready as yet. But for me, if teams are going to be setting themselves up as how Sekhukhune did, and they're actually now going to be not just sitting back, they're going to go to Sundowns and actually really, really force them as well to make mistakes from behind. That's going to be interesting tactically how they're going to be shaping up because we've seen last season most of the teams were just playing a low block, defending with all players, waiting for that counter. It really was boring to some extent. Hence why you would see Sundowns pushing them, having a 1-0 scoreline almost to a draw. Because most of these teams, you think that every time when they play against Sundowns, as long as they get a draw, it's enough. No one wants to win against them because pound for pound, they know that they can't match them. But kudos to Isuko Kune. There was a good effort. They're very unfortunate. Number one, Chima made that mistake, handball, and obviously a penalty. Um, for me, it was a penalty and well deserved. But you can also attribute it to the fact that, oh no, sorry, it wasn't a penalty. It's a mistake from Mukaduso when Masego was making the run and he laid it down to Ribeiro. So those are the small margins of errors that most of the teams, if they are able to keep it tight, you could actually be able to see a very tight game when it comes to Sundown. So hence why I'm saying them winning the league by a margin, or at that gap, it's very difficult for me if they were to win it. It's just that what we need to see over a period of time is that are these other teams, your Pirates, your Chiefs, your Supersport, and Cape Town Saints, are they going to be consistent so that they close the gap and we may be four-horse race, three-horse race, kind of like. I'm yet to be convinced because my own team as well, I'm not yet convinced, but Pirates, I think they have enough. And let's talk about them. What about them? So, because for me, Pirates that game were very unfortunate. They were all over Stellenbosch, in my opinion. But I think the lineup, they didn't look like they had it. They had it together. Interesting players for me, Abu Masangai. Yeah, man, there's potential there, man. That guy is very, very. I think it's a surprise signing for me. Like I've been saying, and he's proving us all wrong. He's very composed on the ball, yeah? And I think we haven't even seen Ukapinga. We haven't even seen Otladisa. Hasn't been given a shot. Lodge as well hasn't been introduced. We still have Upule. So they still have a lot of quality that they still have in the squad. So hence why I'm saying when you look at Fan for Fan with the Sundowns, I think they are the only team that can really, really make it difficult for them when it comes to the league. Other competitions, well, we can give it to Abu Chiefs in terms of luck and, because it's not enough games. So you can just lean 4 or 5 games. You play good, depending on the position that you're going to be playing against. And there are knockout competitions. So hence why I'm saying for other competitions, they're here and there. But in terms of consistency, when you have Pirates playing good as they are, never mind the score. Because it was just one mistake. I think when Ronjo lost the ball from in their own half and Stellenbosch pounced. And look, that play can only work for so long. Yeah? You can't rely on that kind of play for too long. Hence why, because obviously other teams, they look at the squad, the players that they have, the quality that they have, and this is where these other teams are going to be capitalizing. Hence why you look at their squad, the depth, the quality, the way they play. Pirates is very dangerous. I mean, now they look very comfortable. Like I said, Pirates from last season, they've been playing well. The only difference is, for me, they haven't been finishing well. And now Saling, the quality that he's showing, Abu Masangani, the ability that they've shown. Unjonjo looks very cool, calm on the ball these days. And I'm forward passes that he's making. And they're very quick this time around. They don't really waste too much time playing in front of opposition. So that's the one part I think is very good for them. And it's a confident booster. As much as the first league game, they came out with a loss. But look at ball position, you look at the opportunities that have been created. Lipasa actually looks comfortable as well. And look, what I've seen with them and what is good about Pirates this time around is that these guys have created some sort of synergy. Like they don't really need to think about it to pass the other player, and they're playing for each other. So the mentality is different, and I think those are the little things that you need in a team for them to be able to show you that they're actually serious about things in terms of the league and winning competitions. And from last season, they've picked up where they've left off. So no one is new apart from the signings. Technical team, they've looked solid, they look together. The vision is one. So if you were to ask me who's going to be a surprise if Sundowns were not going to be able to win it, I'll give it to Pirates, especially depending on how they start. Now, the second game, or the second game week 2, Pirates actually won 4-2 against Royal AM. Sundowns again won against the Chiefs. But as you can see, that game. But let's talk about the Pirates game first. So they responded well. As you saw, Royal AM, they looked very disjointed. Obviously, we know, as we know so far, Royal AM still as a band. They haven't signed any new players. I've seen them go pre-season when they were playing that KZN Premier Cup. They don't look different. In flat, they look a bit more flat. There's not really much from the players. Asabotigazi, disjointed defense, and Pirates can only play, or Pirates is too dangerous for them. I think they were turning them over a bit too much, and Pirates Manje is keeping the ball better. Ball circulation is better. The way they play, they've been playing attractive football, man. To be fair, just that the players haven't been applying themselves accordingly. And this coach now, I think, has actually managed to make them believe that they can actually do things. They can actually play well, and if they play well, they can actually finish these chances very well. I mean, with the score itself, it could have been more. So this only can tell you that what they're building towards. There's still a lot of games going to be played, and Parents looks very very well together. So that's what I'm saying. The synergy and the chemistry that these players have. I think the only problem from behind it defense. I don't know if these three. I think maybe bangadlala Unda, because Uxoki noSibisi sometimes they're not comfortable. They're not really comfortable. And for that three, I think it's a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. I'm not exactly sure. Is over trainer, because you need players who are very very comfortable and who have mileage on them. Uxoki Nyamthemba. I'm not sure if using Usbisi Oki. No, I think Uwoto Humako. Maela these days, I'm not sure what's going on. So you need that experience. And that's my only problem with them having to apply that the playing with three players at the back. So for me, as much as they can score goals, that game proved to us that they can also concede. And Bonilu Shaine made a very, very blunder there. So the goalkeeper as well, playing against some team and Jango Sundowns, so always capitalize on those chances. So, but game week 2 gave us a lot to actually understand that Pirates has enough quality, and the gameplay was very, very good. They won convincingly, hands down. So it's quite interesting now, at least when we see what they've been cooking preseason. And that's my analysis or my take on Pirates so far. Like I've been saying, watch out for those for that team. Still a lot more. There's a lot of players we haven't seen, and if they can stay fit, the key players, Abusaling, Masangani, Mufukeng. Oof, that kid, Mufukeng, Otladis is still coming through. They have enough replacements as well to cover in certain sections. Stacking department, Ivanga. There's this guy from Cameroon we haven't seen, if Lipas is of form. So they've enough cover in every department for me, with the quality that we've now seen have shown, and as a team they're playing together. So it's quite interesting when you see fixtures where it's going to be Paris Sundowns, Paris Chiefs. And yeah, moving on to Kaizer Chiefs versus Sundowns. For me, that game now, the pitch looked bad, number one, but the atmosphere was good. I want to start with Kaizer Chiefs first, because they've started very slow. They lost the first game. They drew against Chiba, which I think they didn't deserve. But they still play in patches, because they looked, for me, like they still in preseason. The players they're still finding each other. They can't. Sometimes they play. That's the thing. They switch on, switch off, and I don't think Kunseki, in regards to the lineup, he's starting 11. That's why there's a bit of disjointment. For me, you can't have Umtutuzi, Saile in the same. Those kids are very young. You can see their inexperience and immaturity sometimes in terms of decision making, and this is the same mistake Kuzan was making last season. So going to a big match like Sundowns, game week 2, you're under pressure. Preseason, you haven't been winning in front of people, and you can only imagine the pressure that tactical team has now, because all of a sudden you're still going to make changes. Now, their approach to the game, for me, where we saw it looked like they were defensive from like the first 30 minutes. Because for me, you put in Ustebe, you put in Umar, you put in Castillo at first. Now, ungena nguranga, ungene ngoDupree esayidini, uphinde ungene ngoModi, leaving Umtansana on the side. Now, my issue is there is the fact that no one is leading the press. To defense start from your attack. No one is leading the press. Trying to make those defenders make mistakes. And Dupree is trying his best. Dupree is the only person we can go on record and say this guy is actually dying for the team. Ngapa Umodi is still finding himself in the team. So, those are the kind of mistakes in front of a good opposition that you're going to find yourself. So, as much as we can fall to Peterson, but that's the kind of ideas that we are seeing, that they haven't really gotten a good preseason. And Sundowns have had a very tremendous day. They look together, solid. They're playing at home. New signings look sharp, and they look together. They've been introduced well into the team. So when you look at the approach in that game, Sundowns did deserve a bit more. And I mean, we can only say, how many times, Mina, this is the question I'd like to ask. As much as we can say that game was close, now, my issue is, how many times is Sundowns going to make you make mistakes and they score with those mistakes? Like it's just simple basics of football. If you are not a ball-playing team, why do you still put in players that are not comfortable and you want to build from the back? Last season, Mashaf it was because of those mistakes. And psychologically, the players that were there, they're very new. Matlo, Zwane, Mart. They were very new. Sometimes it's been like the core of the team have been playing together for a long time. And the new players, they are there, they are very hungry, they're there to prove themselves against a very, very, very good team as well. So in front of the people, they will capitalize on our mistakes. My issue is, when you're playing against Sundowns, rather pump the ball. But yes, I understand that you want to play fun, you want to play your own game. But my issue is, Peterson is not comfortable. Where is Ukune? Where is Kune in these type of games? I understand that the technical team have said he's going to be managed because of his age. He's going to be playing some games. But at this point in time, Peterson agasimnandi. I would disagree. As much as he saved us to some extent, Bruce Peterson cannot be number ones there. Bruce, we've been developing that guy for too long. So that's my first take on that game. Sundowns, as per normal, they played to their strengths. They were more of the passing game, starting from the back, being patient. And as much as they didn't take their chances, they took what they could. And one mistake, they won the game. And look, they need that start because obviously now they're going to be playing in Africa. So the first 5 games are very important for them. And you can tell the mentality of why this is so important. What's that? Oh, it's the plane. So for me, that's the one thing that we can't shy away from and say that, Sundowns won without mistakes. Then avoid it. That's why you analyze a team. That's why they're going to analyze you as well. I mean, these guys have been doing this for a long time. You do not win 6 times in a row by luck. As much as, yes, it was Pito, those guys who are there now, they were with him before. They've learned as well, and it shows. So for me, Sundowns, that's where I give them props because this is where the standard should be. You make mistakes, you're going to be punished. Simple. Why must we mince words? I love my club, I love my team. And yes, Castillo there, we can say Peterson, but these are the things these are the things that clearly they need to fix from training. And this is where the question is. We see, for me, another thing that I love when you're watching a presser, where I could give it to him, it's when you now give us your analysis and your take on how the game shaped up and where your mistakes are, accountability, and the way he's articulated and understands the game. That's where you see that, okay, based on the changes, because now the game that we won yesterday, or the past weekend, it showed. Because this is what we're saying. Umtansane, we need him there. Ungobo is not ready because he comes from a long-term injury. He's young, number two. And when you're giving him that responsibility very early, he should be learning from Umtansane. So giving Umtansane that Umsainile, like you bought him for a reason because we are lacking in that attacking fold. Utoli is injured at the moment, a senior player, vice captain. So you saw what I'm talking about. Watch. If you watch the game carefully, there was a chance to say like Tolile. Now, sorry, I'm just jumping forward now into the third game, MTN8. But I just want to give you an example why we needed him in that league game. Saile made a decision where first chance he got, he took a shot. There were two players. There was Dupree on his left, and there was Umtansan in the middle. You have enough cover if you have an opening when you're cutting in to give it to the next player. Showing you that those are the small margins where you are playing against a good opposition that you can use, especially when you're attacking. That's why we see chances like our Pontani being missed. So we are playing against Sundowns. Those decisions and those small margins are going to be critical in winning a league and actually winning against a top opposition or even getting a draw. There's no free lunch. But this time around, we gave it to them because of also the technical decisions. That's my take, guys. I know probably a lot of people are going to be indifferent about my analysis and how I've saw the games so far very early into the league and obviously MTN8. But in the league, I think this way Kaizer Chiefs lost it. Decision making, Orang, I don't think is ready. And I don't think for me, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but hey, that system they're playing, I don't think it fits him, yeah? Because a lot of creative players and you need movement. And Uranga is stagnant. I think he doesn't come back. He gets too frustrated because we can tell he wants to play, but I don't think the system allows him to play as freely because he's a target man. He's very slow. He wants the ball in feet. And maybe we're using for his physical presence or aerial ability. I don't know because Forsley has good crosses. I don't know if this is the game plan or do you also want to play in pockets, play your combination plays. Now, let's look at that game is game and lost. Game 2, Chiefs lost. Sundowns won. We've talked about the Pirates. Now, MTN8, guys. Wafa. This weekend was very exciting. I want to start with the Pirates. Pirates 5-0. I see now. They've scored 9 goals in 2 games. Now, if you can check your roadmap from their preseason, first game, never mind the result. It was long time coming. Kwani team finally told the score. And it was not by fluke, guys. Pirates has been playing a very good attacking football. It's just that the goals were not coming. But now when they do come, and they do take them, this is the kind of score. They could have scored 7. Remember, Olipas who actually missed a penalty. And I think there was an offside, Usbis, from him, which I don't think was an offside from my side. So it would have been 7. The way they played it was seamless. They were passing balls in the right areas. They wanted this thing. It's a knockout. And I think they wanted to show the quality that we've known all along. Slaughterhouse like Orlando. So kudos to them, man, because now at least we have another team that is able to produce such a result in Sundowns. So Sundowns is not going to be a Farmers League anymore. Those people who have been saying, hey, Farmers League in Tontoni, I'm not going to give much. Now we are seriously going to, for me, that's hence I'm saying, I know this is a camp competition, but now looking at the gameplay, because now obviously confidence is quite good because tomorrow they're playing. We'll talk about this before I end the video. So that game, there's a lot of things. And for me, if I were to be a bit spiteful, about Ndiantia on the left, Cardoso. This is why I don't like that play. I don't know about you guys. Oh, before we go any further, again, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click on the subscription bell if you like the content. I've been saying to Cardoso, that guy didn't deserve to be at Kaizer Chiefs. And he's showing an experienced defender. He's been making mistakes. Against sometimes was his error. Against against the Pirates, it was found wanting. Chima is good, fine. Cardoso there was a lot of gaps between Unti and no Cardoso. Whenever he's there, There's no man marking or there's no picking a player. Lipasa plays very nicely there. They play in front of them. He doesn't win individual battles. One v ones, he always lose. He looks lost. Sharp, probably sometimes he would win 1 out of 3. But most of that defense looks very disjointed. I mean, I blame him. This is the kind of mistake they were making at Chiefs. And but finally, he can get exposed as the captain. We don't care. But I'm just saying, I'm not being spiteful. He deserves to be in games like that or teams like that. And yeah, this is what I was saying. So for me, let's give it to Pirates. As much as Isoko was very disjointed, I'm not sure what's going on. Immediately, it didn't look like they were there for the game. But as much as we can say that, let's not take away from anything. Abomnari looked together there defensively in terms of him. Lapoko number 6, he's arrogant. He controls the game very well. Undlondlo, he's showing the quality we saw Kumarumo Gallants. Saling as usual, proving me right actually that he should have been the football of the season last season, and continue where he left off, especially with the goals. I think he has 2 assists and a goal in that game. For me, and Ulipasa, man, proving everyone wrong. I've never had a problem with him because the national team, now Super Sport, he actually looked like a good player. The only issue in Ulipasa, on his left, Caleb. The left doesn't work because there's a chance he got where he could have just continued on his left and tried to use his left, and they always want to cut in. Practice, Amakai. Practice that side, because you can't be a wise one-footed player. As much as we can call it tap-ins and all that, position is good. You are now putting yourself in good position. First ball, last ball, and all that. You always are there when these players are cutting in or they're coming into those areas. So he finds himself in good positions. But Kimbonile, when it's him and a defender, that's where he's going to have a problem. And you need those kind of play. Individual brilliance sometimes needs to come in and from you as a striker. So I think that's one thing. But as a team, Pirates, they look solid. They play for each other. And that's what we need. We need people who are going to die for each other on the pitch. And that's the kind of mentality I've seen from me, Pirates. So that's kind of good, man. And for me, Sundowns, against the Swallows, I have it. Charlie, for me, there's a lot of garage lap. And if you press Rolani, akhuluma ngokuthi he feels like there's a target on. He feels like there's a target on Mukwena's back. Sorry, I just heard something. Which is a target of Tebogo Mukwena's back, because maybe it's because it's the football of the season, because now this is the second challenge. Like I said before, they've seen you guys. And I remember, Kompela has a playbook. Kompela Basgash. But actually, that was very reckless, man. Because even with that goal, man, it's not down these days. It's benefiting. I don't know about you guys, because seemingly there's dodgy goals. I mean, from Chiefs, there was one incident. I think Kuti Chokwe was fouled by who's this strike? Ushalulile. Ref didn't see it. That goal against the Swallows was offside. Ref didn't see it. Hence why I'm saying it is going to be very difficult for us until this season. Yes, they have quality, but if these goals don't come, they also can concede. That defense is not as strong as they seem. Tirok is not there. Kunilibusa. Bafakala no Mandela. So for me, the mid is very strong, as we know. Konabu Zungu on the bench. They have a good squad. Maseko for me, yafana no squad. Bambi ilu force la pesite. So against the Swallows, I think now we worked for a while. But you could tell from 10, 15 minutes, high pressure game. But the Swallows is very good on the ball. So they don't mind building from the back and coming out in those spaces. And they look comfortable. So that's what I'm saying. With the Sundowns, this high pressure game, they know how to play it. They know how to finish it as well. But it seems like a lot of teams have studied them very, very well. And that's what they're going to, they've realized actually this season. So they've won 1-0, regardless of the controversial goal. So they threw. The Pirates won comfortably. Now they threw. Stellenbosch was playing against Lokuza. Super Sport. Kaiser Chiefs won at the death baby. Castillo, Aston Castillo. I want to talk about that game. Kaiser Chiefs, Captain City. Now that's a good lineup. Now, as you can tell, like I said, they started very well. First 10, 15 minutes, I'll give it to them. These opinions about Kaiser Chiefs being lucky, Kaiser Chiefs not playing well or being outplayed. Imagine the arrogance, being outplayed by Captain City. Well, look, here's my opinion. And now this is what I would leave you guys with. The one thing that I hate about these kind of opinions is the fact that Kaiser Chiefs created enough chances in the first half. Yes, he Captain City Korile, but from a set piece. I would say it was luck to get injured. As we've seen in the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes when we've scored, they were actually pushing for these set pieces, crosses, and all these things. I respect Sinclair myself, but if you're going to say we've been outplayed in the middle, yes, they're winning individual battles, but forward passes or when they get the ball, what do they do with it? Abu Ambina, Abu Khudeman. She's created as well. Even first 10 minutes, they created. Last 10 minutes to get the goal. You create your own luck. For me, well deserved. Both teams looked like they want to go at each other. No team held back. But you created enough. And unfortunately, Botswana got a one-on-one. There was a controversial offside. Dupree came to our rescue. Mtanzane as well. Because he was walking for a bit at some places or at some points. But that was a good game. For the first time with the squad that we have, I still have a problem with Mark till today, guys. But for me, it was a good show. I don't agree with the man of the match, but there was a good outing. Shanti, Mart for me was suspect. In those areas, I think that's where Chiefs can actually improve their game. Because as a left back, the issue that I have going forward doesn't give us anything. When he has to defend, he has mistakes. Like, how long are we going to keep? Because you have to be good in one thing. Eh? Either you're good at defending and you're bad at going forward. You're wasteful. But at least there you've locked a defense. But making these silly mistakes, making silly fouls. If you remember a game against Chipa last season, Mushanti made a stupid foul in our own half that resulted in a stupid mistake, which we lost against them. Captain City is very good. Nama said peace, my guy. If I'm super sport. So if the technical team don't pick up these things, it can achieve. That's the one part I feel they really need to invest in, man. We need a left back, either a wing back that's good in both areas and can actually play. Because when they give him the ball here, especially when he gets to the Tangati, he's tired. He doesn't know how to think. Lashi Bola game, guy, do something, because those silly mistakes that he makes that now found him wanting the defenses to look around, heads together. And, those are the kind of mistakes they've been making last season. Silly, silly games that they could win comfortably and look comfortable on the ball, share it if you must, and, play a good brand of football. And that's what the fans want to see. But what I want to leave you guys with, which for me, Dstv Premiership is back. And the one thing you can expect is a lot of changes. I don't think it's going to be a gap as last season. Meaning Kaizer Chiefs, I would say for now, they started slow because the preseason will be bad. We've heard that I'm taking players rather, Modi, Potani, Ranga. They were not with them. Some of them have had injuries. As you can see, Utol is out at the moment. So I think it can only get better from here. But the best team who's going to start well, for me, Pirates is leading at the moment. Sundowns in Inking as high. But you could see both those teams actually running with the league for me. Those are my two picks. Now, tomorrow, Sundowns is playing, Pirates is playing. I'll cover that game for Thursday. Thank you. If you've made it till this far, I appreciate you. I love it. Just know you're supporting a brother. You're keeping the lights on. I still need to pay for the lights. And look, keep supporting the channel, guys. I appreciate the love. The people are pushing me on social media, appreciating the content. Please continue supporting your boy, Walter. Again, thank you so much. Thank you, Yabo.